This podcast is brought to you by Blossoms PPC, your trusted partner for promotional apparel and uniforms. Since 1998, we've been manufacturing high-quality t-shirts, caps, and bags in bulk with competitive pricing and timely delivery. Visit www.blossomspc.com for more details.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Backbenchers podcast. Today we have Mr. Rajesh Sadhwani with us, who's also a Josephite. Let's start the podcast by knowing your story.
I was very impressed when I got a call from Adnan. He said it's called Backbenchers. I asked him, how do you know I was a backbencher? And then that's why I came on the show, because I was actually not just a backbencher, but I was mostly outside the class. So I'm an old Cottonian. I went to Bishop Cotton Boys School till 10th standard till ICSE, and then I joined Commerce College. I can never ever forget my first day at St. Joseph's Commerce College. It was first PUC. We were in the current block, and for second PUC we moved to where now Arts and Sciences for 1 year, and then again we moved back. So I think it was the first day of college, and ragging existed. Then I'm not sure, does it exist now? It doesn't.
Not really.
It doesn't. So it existed then, and in quite a strong way. So there were these seniors of ours in final year BCom who were looking for prey, and they called like a couple of us and said, come to the side. And I think 20-30 of us went to the side and said, just tell us your name and which school you came from. So I didn't, obviously, Cottons and Josephs are the fiercest of rivals, like as good as in India-Pakistan. But at that moment, I didn't realize how fierce it was. So there were 30 guys there, and 29 of them gave their schools names, and then I came and said Cottons, and then they said, okay, rest of the 29 can leave, and let this one guy stay with us. and that day was very rough. It was, and those guys are my best friends till date, from that day onwards till today.
What happened that day?
Oh, it was nuts. You had to wear a helmet and walk down Brigade Road. You had to play basketball without a ball. Had to go and propose to random girls one final year. It was absolutely nuts. Just short of getting a black eye.
But that's a theme that we've seen with a bunch of entrepreneurs that we've had, that they're usually backbenchers. So they're usually people outside the class. They have to focus on academics.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What were your interests like during college? Like when you say you were out of the class, was it just bunking?
Not really. I think I had a very bad habit of always being late.
Okay.
So I'd miss the first hour.
Were you first shift?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was only one shift. At that time it was, so 9:30 was the first class. Okay. And I'd miss the first class, and I'd show up late for the second one at 10:45. So I was told, okay, you stay out. So invariably I would only end up going to class after lunch, like at 1:30 or 1:30 or something. And then location of our college also at that age, freedom coming out of Bishop Cotton's, it's a all boys school. We're very, very, very strict. So bunch of us were absolutely like wild animals left out of the cage. So that's why I think we would we'd bunk a lot of class and create a lot of trouble. In fact, my cousin is he became a teacher, and he was HOD, and currently he's something in the college. His name is Raj. So when he came and joined, when he applied to join the college, his admission was rejected on basis of being my cousin. And they said, we don't want one more guy from the same family. And his father had to go and request, his parents had to go and request Father Daniel, saying, don't worry, he's nothing like his cousin, and so on and so forth. And then Ebenezer, the principal of Bishop Cotton's, he requested Father Daniel. He said, I don't remember who Rajesh is. I have no recollection from Cottons, but Raj is a good guy and give him admission. It was the biggest joke till today in home.
What were your fun Joseph spots at that time?
So I think the one's opposite college, where obviously the funnest of spots. Like we would hang out sitting outside Kanti Sweets. That was like our favorite. And then of course Brigade Road has so many places that that we could go to. I think we weren't fortunate enough to get the malls. I think the malls came up 2004, maybe just towards the end of I think 2005 we graduated. So we got Forum and Garuda right at the end. But before that, there were lots of we used to hang out at Pico's. It's a bar, it's an institution itself. My family had bars, so we would not be allowed there. It was the Pub World on Residency Road and NASA on Church Street. But every other place we used to visit quite a bit. I think Spin was a club that we used to visit a lot. It had just opened, and there was the I think the F bar that opened up at the Le Méridien Hotel then, which also was all of Josephs used to hang out there as well. Fun times. So it was like the Wild West. You're sending me back in time now.
So then, straight out of college, you joined the business?
Actually, I joined during college itself.
All right, yeah.
So I was interning in the evenings after college hours, because I wanted to invest money in the stock market. So my father refused to give me money. He said, if you come and work and you earn your own money, because I used to always hear stories about people wanting to invest in the stock market and so on. So that's how I started working at a very young age. So I think I was 16, 17 years old when I started interning. And so it was very easy for me. I straight away joined right after 2005 I graduated. I joined immediately after that.
Did you always want to join the family business, or did you have any other
No, I always wanted to do business. So I even tried other things apart from the family business, but none of them actually worked.
Okay.
I think whatever else I tried didn't really work. I tried so many things. So family business is something that has worked for me.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done well at. So I kind of took a liking to it, because people always say, follow your passion. If you're passionate about something, do that. I don't know how that works, because I just wanted to make money. So once I started making money in the family business, then I took a liking to it right there.
It became a passion.
And it's actually a boring job. It's actually damn boring. Real estate is quite is not the funnest job that you can have. But if you're doing well at something, and if it's making you money, then that's the end goal, right?
But I think in this world, real estate just sounds so fancy, and a lot of people so they watch maybe shows or something, and they, that's what the idealized real estate world is pretty much very interesting.
See, it all looks good, right? Because you see a building, you go and see UB City now.
Yeah.
And the building is ready, it's standing there. But then it took Vital Malia to buy that land. And when he bought that land, from who he bought that land, the number of problems he have, you will never know. Then he built a factory on it selling beer. Okay. Then the problems UB Group had there, you all didn't know. Then Vijay Malia came and he said, okay, I will do a joint development. Then he went looking for developers and builders. Then Prestige tied up with him. Then they started construction. They had to apply for plan sanction. They had to then build the building, rent the building, sell the building. So there's so much that goes into it, right? So it's actually not as fancy as it looks, because the end product is fancy.
Yeah.
True.
I think people who don't have an understanding of real estate often think of just the transaction, but not the legal aspect that goes behind it. Yeah.
Correct.
Do you like dealing with lawyers?
Yeah, I'm half a lawyer now. I'm half a lawyer, half a Vastu guy. Real estate zero.
Is there any Vastu that you follow?
I don't. So I don't, but clients follow.
Yeah.
So everyone has this fear in them, and they believe it. It was bad for business earlier, because every time transactions would fall through, because developers would not build as per Vastu. But now every developer follows it because they want to sell, and they can only sell if they follow it. So hence they're building as per it. Right?
So if a developer doesn't follow Vastu, how much of his market does he limit or end up limiting?
Everything sells eventually. They believe in it as well. So they are rather just follow it now and sell to everybody. Right? But every price bracket will sell. If you build a building that is legal, that is decently well planned, decent quality of construction, it will sell. From a 25 lakh home to a 250 crore home, everything will sell.
So you're a broker for real estate.
Correct.
So how does someone hear about you, or what is like a particular reason why like someone would come to you? Because is it because you deal only in a particular class of property, or like what's the case?
So we deal in anything and everything to do with real estate in the city center.
Okay.
So Central Business District (CBD), that is, you could say, from MG Road, the old CBD is MG Road and around. Right? Now the new CBD is Vital Malya Road and Level Road, but still, if you go by that, so let's say MG Road, Brigade Road, Residency Road, St. Mark's Road, that's your city center. Now it even extends up to Indranagar on one side and up to maybe Sarashiv Nagar on the other side. Because Bangalore has grown in all four directions: north, south, east, and west. One of the only cities in the country that has grown in all four directions.
Okay.
Right? Other cities have grown either in one or two directions. So keeping this in mind, in CBD we do everything. Whether it is residential, retail, commercial, any price, any price bandwidth, doesn't matter. We are very CBD focused.
And so you only deal with prime property, because
yes,
you're not like selling land in Chikbalapur.
No, we do that. Okay. We do that as well. So let me give you. So CBD we do everything, right?
Okay.
And land we do in north and east Bangalore. So north is from Sarashiv Nagar, you go to Hebbal, Yalanka, Devanhalli, Tadbalapur, Nandi Hills, Chikbalapur, or you go towards east, you go Whitefield, Sajapur, Hoskote. We sell lands in these places as well. So we're very focused in what we do, because we don't want to do everything, because then you'll end up doing nothing. If you tried, so rather we stick to core focus, and we build teams to handle these areas.
You do luxury projects as well as budget-friendly projects.
Of course.
So how do you make sure that both of them are like you do your best in both of them?
So see, they're two different things, right? The luxury, now when a developer says luxury is maybe a 2-3 crore rupees home. But when we say luxury as a brokerage firm, we are referring to ultra luxury. Yeah. So we sell like 10 crore upwards. Right? So projects like Kingfisher Towers, Prestige Golfshire, Prestige Leela Residences, Embassy Boulevard, Prestige Kenilworth, Prestige Edwardine. These are the kind of projects that we take up. And I think since we're an old firm, we're an old name, we're in business since 1991. A lot of people know us since we've been doing this business since then. So it's not that difficult for us to generate inquiries, as it's our customers who've given us more clients. For example, if you buy an apartment, you are happy with the service we gave you, then you recommended her to buy one, and then she recommended somebody else. And in luxury, there are very few players, and since we understand luxury and dealing with a client, it's like you're selling a Rolex or selling a Louis Vuitton bag, right? It's like that. So since that's something that very few can do, very few understand, and very few can buy. So it's a small marketplace. So you don't really need to advertise or generate inquiries for that. And we're selling only the grade A. The developer we're selling for is somebody who has delivered from time and again, right? We're not selling for anyone new unless the building is ready. Because now real estate is regulated, right? It's no more like before. So even the developers coming in are very careful because they are regulated. So it's not that challenging anymore to identify a good developer. And when the budget ones are concerned, we sell for the big player only. We will not sell for somebody who's building on a small site. He's building like a couple of units. We will not sell that. say Prestige, Purvankara, Brigade, Godrej, Birla, Tatas. We will sell for them because we know they will deliver and they'll give a good product to the end consumer. A guy buying a 50 lakh, 1 crore home is buying his first home. He's been renting and it's his life savings are going into it. So we don't want to put him in trouble to make our 2 or 3% broker that we charge the developer. We don't want him to go and lose his 97% of his money or be unhappy in the home because we want to deliver you a home, not just a house. So we sell for the grade A developer, and the end is always very, very sweet. They get a great product.
Does
What-
the average consumer really feel the difference between or understand the difference between, say, a Nitesh project versus a Prestige project, or is that something that brokers like play a role in and they pass on that information?
So few customers understand, maybe like 10%.
Okay.
For the other 90 is just brick and mortar. They just see a building. They don't know the kind of quality of cement that you have used or the steel that you have used or what kind of flooring, what kind of marble you have used in. So they have no clue. So it's our job to educate the customer on what they should buy or what they are buying.
What's like the biggest deal that you've had until now?
In terms of square feet area or price or
Monetary term.
in residential?
Yes.
In residential, we sold an apartment recently to Sanare Murthy at the Kingfisher Towers. We represented the seller. There were multiple brokers in the transaction, and he had his own broker. I represented the seller. 50 crores was the price. It's the most expensive apartment ever sold in Bangalore on a ticket size as well as on a square foot rate.
Okay, yeah.
On it made a lot of news all over because high profile buyer.
This was a family business, right?
Right.
So how did you leverage the family business?
Actually, it took a lot of time
Hmm.
because when I joined the family business after 20 years old, right? So when we go to meet a client, we explain, and then he said, "Okay, I'll talk to your father."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay," and years go by, and you're trying to prove to do something on your own. So what I learned very early, what I was told by my elders, my dad, my uncle, and so on, they said that build trust of the client. Right? So we've built the trust over years, and just because you're from the family, it doesn't mean that they will trust you. They will just trust you as a person, but not as a realtor that you're good at your job. So you got to work for X number of years, and they should see you perform. First sell a 2 crore home, and then a 3 crore home, and then a 4 crore home, and then keep doing something, and you achieve something within the business for them to be able to. So that's what I've done. So I've worked all these years, and maybe last 7-8 years only, I think I've been able to leverage on that on the family name, because first I had to build the trust that they think I'm capable enough they can talk to me and not talk to one of the elders in the family. And then because we come from the same family, they trust us. So to make a connection is much easier. So when you go meet somebody and we tell them a company name, family name, they say, okay, we know so and so, and they'll know somebody, my father or uncle or somebody, and then that's how we have leveraged using the connection.
So like making a connection is very essential in this industry, right?
Yeah, it's very essential
So
because
with-
they don't
Yeah,
go on.
sorry. So with someone who doesn't really have a connection, like how do they go about?
It's actually easier for them.
Okay.
Why so?
It's actually easier for them because as you don't take the money up front. Nobody pays you money.
Yeah.
It's a performance fee, right? We come with a baggage of a legacy, so we have to be very, very extra cautious because people are always waiting to pull you down.
Okay.
So we have sometimes let go of a transaction. Say, okay, I will not do this transaction because paperwork looks a little iffy. Because one negative and what work we've done for 30 years goes down the drain. For these guys, it's much easier. Somebody starting off, it's much easier because they have to just go to a developer and say, okay, we're getting into real estate. We applied for our ERA number. We got our ERA number. Give us the project details. Builders say, okay, we're selling this in Whitefield, this in Hebal, this in Devanhalli, this here. Take this is the details. Give them the details. You go online, create an Instagram page, create a LinkedIn page, Google Ads, start advertising. Customer approaches you. They say, okay, let's say the guy's name is Mr. X. They call Mr. X and say, we want to buy this prestige pine forest. So okay, it's in Whitefield. These are the details. They'll come. They'll see. They'll look at him. They'll go with him to the builder. They fill out the form. They get a check to the builder. No questions asked. He's not bothered. The agent is not really that clued in. He's not bothered as to the price correct. Is this? But with us, when a client calls me, they know we are dealing with Prestige since 1991. So they are expecting me to get a better price than Prestige is giving anybody else. So it starts already with pressure, right? And now they've heard that we are friends with the Razaks, and my grandfather knew Mr. Irfan's father, and my father and him are friends, and Uzma is my friend, and so on. So they expect they will get a discount. But does it work that way? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. But people assume that it works that way, right? So they expect that we will talk to one of the family members for their apartment, get them a special price. So it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Right now, there's some things that we may gain, like we may gain a benefit as in we may get some inventory to sell, which others may not get. But at the same time, when it's a regular unit being sold, people expect us to achieve a price. They say, why did we come to you then? Why did we call you? We called you thinking we'll get a better. But we could have gone to them. We could have gone to them directly. So then we had explained to them, we are not charging you a fee. In a primary sale, in a first sale, we don't charge a fee to the buyer. We only charge the developer. That's why we're doing all the work for you. We're doing all the work for you. We're giving you a service. We'll give you an RM who will do all your work, your paperwork, and so on. So it's worth you dealing with us. And price, it's one for all. We have to explain to them because we actually can't break that price on a 2 crore or 3 crore apartment. We can't go and ask the management, because then that's us taking advantage of our relationship with them, right?
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Because we have a relationship with them, right, and they've supported us all these years, and we have supported them. Can't draw a certain line, right? Because the client assumes that we're close, we'll get a discount. We're not going to go and ask for it. I'm not going to call the chairman of Prestige Group and say, "Uncle, I want a discount for for a client." It doesn't work, because even they are in business to make money, right?
Yeah.
Right. And their price, they're not going to give that much of a reduction on that one call either. Just for the heck of it, they may say something which is very minuscule. So I don't even ask. In fact, now, because people have that expectation of us, what we do is we tell the developer, you cut it in half fees, give them a discount, give them 1% off, and deduct it in half fees. And we don't tell the developer, we don't tell the customer that. We tell them, yeah, we spoke to Prestige, they're very happy to have you as a client, and only for you and only for our relationship, they are given this, which actually we have given. Just to keep that customer and to keep that reputation. So actually, maybe there are a few instances where it's easier for somebody new.
So do you have like any fun customer stories that you want to share?
Yeah, so I'll tell you some embarrassing stories
Sure.
instead of fun stories. So I was just new to business. I just joined, and I was doing all kind of work in the office. And so one day my dad said, "Okay, I think you're good enough to go and show a property to a client." And there's a client who has called and inquired they want to buy a land which is 2 or 3 acres size, and so location. I can't remember now what location. This was like in the year 2002, I think. And I was reporting to this senior colleague of mine in the office who was managing the land division. So I was interning under him. So I told him so and so client, but I said I have to go and show and give me the list of the inventory. So he said, okay, come, and he explained to me all this is available. So I took the list, took the locations from him. There were no Google pins, so he gave me the addresses. I said, okay, I'll go and see these lands, and then I'll show it to the client. I should know where it is. He said, yeah, you go and see it, and these are. And then I went and I saw all those lands maybe on a Monday or Tuesday, and then on the day I fixed with the client to show him in a specific order. I had fixed. I'll show first X land, 2 Y land, and the client came, and I met him at a common point, and from there he followed me to the land. We went. I showed him the land. He got down. he saw it and he said, I want to buy this land. It was the first land I was showing him. And the first time I was showing land, I said, wow, this is so easy. He said, I want only this land. And let's not see anything else. Go back to your office, talk to the owner, fix the deal. I gave him the price. He said, okay, I'm okay with the price. It's very reasonable. Please fix it. I said, wow, this is unbelievable. And I said, okay, see you, thank you. I left. Went back to the office. My collar up. I was walking in, going up the staircase. My father was running down, all pissed off and mad at me.
Yeah.
He was yelling at me. I was thinking, what's going on? What's wrong? Is he crazy or what? I just sold a land. Just done a deal, and I just have to fix the price. Came running down, and on the staircase, he didn't let me go up. He just came down. So what the hell are you doing? I said, what happened? He said, you went and met Mr. So and so. I said, yes. He said, what did you show him? I said, I showed him this land. He said, idiot, that's his land.
Oh my God.
It belonged to him. So I showed the guy his own land. He wanted to sell another land.
Oh.
Right, and at the same time, he wanted to buy something else. So when I took the list from my senior colleague, I didn't check who the owner is. And so on the first day, I learned a lesson of my life. That first, you know who the owner is, talk to the owner, and then you go. He was wild, and then he told me, Dad, you come and I don't want to go with these kids. You come. My dad then left. Took him to show him some land.
So your client was messing with you, very clearly.
Yeah, so he was obviously pissed off because he imagine showing somebody their own land, right? So
What was the reaction like?
He told me I want it and all that because obviously he wouldn't want to be rude to a kid. He would have just felt this guy, my friend's son, or he's new to his job or whatever. He didn't want to be rude and discourage me. But obviously he would have called my father and said that this is what happened and I don't want to waste my time with a kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's too new. You please come. So then my dad went. So that's one of the funniest, the most embarrassing stories in the history of real estate, I guess.
Do you ever usually hear like a client going, yeah, this is very reasonable?
Never.
That's what I would have taken that as the
Never.
first red flag.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
Never, ever. Unless, there are desperate buyers. Like I was a desperate buyer recently to buy my neighboring apartment, which joins my common wall with my home. I was desperate to buy it because how often can you get to break the wall and your house is bigger, right?
Yeah.
So in those times there are desperate buyers who tell us we want it at any cost, and they say even if it's going at 100 rupees, we'll pay 125, 130, don't let it go, right? So it does happen, but it's very rare. It's one in a million case.
Yeah.
Not
Do
in
you
one.
think your Sindhi genes came into play?
100%.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. The only thing we want to do is make money. So
you're talking to a Gujarati and a Marwadi. So.
Imagine, yeah. So that comes. See, our risk-taking ability is quite high, right? I have a very high risk-taking ability. So I like recently I bought a land really far away. They told me that the title is not yet clear and check the papers properly and this and that. I went there. I just loved the land, and the guy said he was desperate for money. He wanted for money, not giving a discount.
Okay.
He needed money for some personal commitment, but the price was market price, the top dollar price. He said, I can't give time to check the papers and all that. If you trust, you give me so much so and so advance, and which is like 20% of the property value, a big sum. It's like 13 acres of land. So these are things that which we can do because I think of my genes, we have the risk-taking appetite. So I just thought to myself, okay, after land is there, something goes wrong, it's not clear. At least I have something in my hand, right? And I went ahead and I said, okay, I'll do that. I took a punt on and it worked out well. 1 year later, papers are clear and I'm acquiring it and so on. So genetics does it does play a role.
What's the most amount of appreciation you've seen for land in like a short period of time?
Last 3 years, it's there.
Yeah. after 21, right?
Last 3 years,
Yeah.
who bought 21, 22 have doubled, tripled the investment in the last 3 years. It's the first time I've seen it in my career of spanning 20 years.
So we had a guest. So do you know Jamming Goat?
Sorry?
Jamming Goat. So it's
No.
a pub, like it's a bar. So they bought their first place at like half the price, and now they're like in lockdown. So I think that was a pretty
Of
crazy.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you ever have
Lockdown was crazy.
Yeah.
The first rental in Kingfisher Towers, I did the first apartment we rented there. I did in lockdown in 2020 for 5 lakh rupees. Today is 16 lakhs the rent.
Yeah.
So absolute lockdown, COVID times pricing is people have to get lucky.
But what kind of customers are, living in rent in Kingfisher Towers? Because if they're of that stature, why would they choose to?
So there are a few who will not live there permanently. Right? They may shift city.
Okay.
So they're renovating their home. Somebody building a house.
Yeah.
They want to live in a good place. Somebody's house is getting ready. Things, and just some people have their own home. Maybe in Koramangala third block, they already have a 100 crore home, but they want one city home. People like that
Do you come across like very eccentric buyers?
all the time. All the time.
What are like some of the eccentric requests that you get from,
Oh, we've got so many.
Okay.
We've got so many. People asking for 12 car parks, right? Like you buy an apartment, you get like 2 or 3 car parks. He has 12 car parks, and he's not from Bangalore. I can't give you his name. He says my family don't know I have 7 Lamborghinis and 2 Ferraris and 3 Range Rovers. I need to park these 12 cars. So he took 2 apartments on rent, staying in one.
Oh.
Took 2 because the other guy had some 6-7 car parks. So he took that apartment just to get those car parks. He can park his cars there. I can't tell you which building though.
Fair enough.
That's a secret.
He's suffering from success.
Yeah, it's a very very high end building. Not Kingfisher Towers. Another building. I can't tell you the name.
Fair.
So there are crazy requests. Absolutely, like somebody wanted bulletproof windows. So many, and they said you get it done. And we pay for it. You get it done. Like they don't have time to look into all this. And being a real estate firm, it's not really our job. Right? We have to find an interior guy. Then he has to go find the glass. But then we have to personally look at it because the client we're dealing with is our client, and we want to give the best service to our client to retain the client and get clients from him, referrals from him. So we've obviously done it.
But it seems to be clear that in the entire real estate business, the broker kind of seems to be doing the most because you need to have full 100% authenticity about the project.
Of course.
Then you're also taking all these requests. You're trying to build a network and try to get them a discount and also maintain a good relationship with this one.
Of course.
Do you ever feel like getting out of it?
No, it's too rewarding. It's too rewarding.
You haven't felt burnt out or anything?
Come again?
Have you ever felt like burnt out?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
I mean, based on your call schedule.
Every single day you feel burnt out because firstly you have to keep everything confidential, right? We can't even speak to our spouse, to our parents, to anybody because where the information leaks we don't know, right? When a transaction is being done, it's only between the people in that transaction, right? Even the person, the developer, the client who's buying the apartment or buying the land or taking the land on joint development, we can't even speak. We can't tell anybody, like their own siblings, their own spouses, because we don't know what's going on between them. Like there are transactions we've done where the wife doesn't know husband is buying an apartment, brother doesn't know brother's buying an apartment or selling. So we cannot, go and volunteer information. If they ask us, we say you talk to your spouse or your sibling or your son or whatever it is. We cannot divulge information. We tell anyone and everyone the same thing. Even after transactions over, they ask how much did he pay. We never tell. We will never tell. We are sworn by secrecy.
What really taught you sales? Is it your family or?
It's a bunch of things, right? I've always been a good storyteller.
Okay.
So we have to tell a lot of stories to make a sale, which may or may not be true, right? Now, for example, where somebody's selling a house for whatever reason, but when we have to make that house available, we have to, if we say this house is available, come and see it. Even though it's a very coveted location, the buyer will come and lowball us. Now, the price, the apartment, if the house is say 30 crores, they'll come and say, "Oh my God, he's selling a house on level road. Nobody sells on level road. Maybe he has some financial problem. So we paid 25 crores." People will take advantage of that situation naturally, right? So we have to spin a story. Like we'll say, okay, this house is only for rent. It's not for sale.
Okay.
When they come, they see the house. They say, what's the rent? Say the rent is 8 lakhs or 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs or whatever. Say, will he sell it? I don't think so. If we say, we'll ask him. Because anyway, we heard that he may be shifting to Bombay or London or something. Maybe a chance that he'll sell it. You let us know. If you're serious, we'll talk to him. Sometimes we have to. So I've always been a good storyteller. So these stories come naturally. So I think that's one of the advantages. Of course, it's not like a lie that will harm anyone. It's only for to ensure transaction goes through smoothly, and it happens. Because when someone knows, people always make assumptions, right?
Yeah.
And when you hear something, you're going to make an assumption, right? You don't know what's happening behind the scene. You're just going to make some assumption that you think is factual.
So if someone's like selling you something, like can you catch them? Like they're telling you a story?
See, sometimes you can, but we are all students. I'm a student even today. Even though I've done multiple transactions, I've sold properties worth hundreds and hundreds of crores. Every day you learn something, you see something, you've not seen yesterday. And every person teaches you something. Like now, I'm sure I learned something from you all as well. And age is not that someone, because he's 70 years old and he's more experienced, we can learn more from him. You can learn something from anybody at any point. So there are points where you can see through. The most common thing where we can see through, when someone says, when they rush you, right? When someone pushes you for something, like, oh, somebody else has seen this house. If you don't take a call, they may take a call. Now these are things anybody, even you will see through it, right? So that's something that we never ever tell our client, right? Because when you rush somebody, I think it's only the the salesmen who are not the best of salesmen who would do that. Should never rush a client, because a client will only buy what they want when they want. You can never convince somebody to buy something. You can never. Like people have told me, how did you convince so and so to buy that house? I said, boss, you can't convince anyone for anything. You can't convince a 4-year-old child. I can't convince my daughter which toy to buy or not to buy. They'll buy what they want, right? You only have to support them through the transaction and show them the pros and cons of buying that unit. That's all you can do. We cannot take credit that we convinced Mr. X, Y, or Z to buy a house or a land, or we told them this land, if you buy, you build here, price will go up so much. You can't really convince. You can give the data. It is their sensibility, their gut feeling, and their requirement to buy it actually. So as a salesman, the best thing you can do is just present the right data, present it correctly, and don't conceal any facts. Put all the facts out there. When I show somebody a house, I tell them only the negatives. I never say it's the most beautiful view. Like we got Prestige Gaucha, we go and see, look at the view, you can see the hills, you can see hole number 7, it has a lake. They can anyway see, no, they can see the hill, they can see we are on hole number 7, they can see the lake, they can see. We only tell them what the negatives are. So do you believe in Vastu? If you believe in Vastu, this Vastu is not up to the mark. We'll only tell them the negative, which they also appreciate, because you're cutting short their misery. Now, by concealing a fact which they will know little later, the deal will fall through later. Rather, it fall through today, right? Like recently, we showed somebody a house. That house, the owner lost the original papers years ago, and he made a police complaint. He followed all the procedures that he has to follow, and it can be sold. But we tell the client before going to show it, we're going to show a house, they don't have papers. The house on so and so road, right? Still want to come? You come. Because we don't want to go show them, they love the house and they want to buy. Then we tell them later that the original papers are lost. It's a loss of their time. Now they've fallen in love with it. Then our credibility is going, why did you tell us earlier? Then we can't say we didn't know. If we say we didn't know, we've not done our job properly, right? We can't say the seller didn't tell us. We're spoiling his reputation. It's not right to do that. So as a salesman, always better to just tell all the facts. So the client will buy whatever they want in the end.
How do you ensure there's profit with transparency?
You can make more money by being transparent. Today, when we are doing a transaction, we tell the buyer and the seller, these are our charges. The seller knows how much the buyer is paying us. The buyer knows how much seller is paying us. We will never inflate the cost of an apartment, of a land. We would never do that because that will kill the transaction and it will fall through later. And it's loss of reputation. We rather do lesser business, but do it the straight way, because in the long run, we'll get more business. Maybe in some years we've done lesser business because we've lost deals saying the right thing. But in the long run, clients will say, okay, this guy is trustworthy, the company is trustworthy, we should buy only through them, because they're not going to fool us. Rather I do 1,000 transactions and make the market standard number of 2%. Then try to ask them to give me 4 or 5 or 6% and do lesser transactions, right? Rather, because the more clients you get, they give you more clients. It's more about volume, right? And it's a relationship game. Real estate is totally about relationship. So you should to maintain a relationship, we have to be transparent, and people appreciate that. Like if you're buying an apartment for say 3 crore rupees, for example, why would you care how much money I make? What difference would it make to you? Your budget is 3 crores. You love the place. You're getting it for your 3 crore rupees that you have allocated to spend. Now the builder was quoting say 330 or 340. We even negotiated it for him. Now if I tell you, okay, he's paying me 3% on I'm getting 9 lakhs instead of getting 6 lakhs. You say you'll be happy. I fought for you. I got you a 40 lakh discount. You're not paying me a fee either, right? But I'm transparent, telling you openly. This is I negotiate. This is what I'm getting. You're in fact happier, right? Because you got what you want.
So one of the questions I had for you was that you're dealing with various kinds of land and various kinds of customers. So someone will come to you with a 5 crore request, someone will come to you with a 50 crore request. Now, the 50 crore guy might be more likely to be a little more loose with his money. So is it easier to sell the 50 crore plot or the 5 crore plot?
Both are equally challenging. A guy who has 50 crores is not loose with the money.
Okay.
He's made that money because he's tight with his money.
Yeah.
No one's ever loose with hard-earned money, because it takes a lot to make money. Till you have enough money where your money makes money, when you're making your capital, so no one's going to be loose with their money. And the effort to do a transaction is the same for us, whether it's a 50 crore or a 5 crore. But we will obviously do both the transactions with the same amount of enthusiasm. We'll give it same. Every client is equal to us. Not that a 50 crore client is special and a 5 crore is not. Even a client renting an apartment for 30,000 rupees is very special to us. It's our privilege to deal with anybody and everybody. As the transaction goes, it will be exactly the same. The guy buying the 5 crore will also have the same concerns, like how big is my master bedroom, when will the building be ready, how is the vastu, how is the maintenance of the building, how many car parks am I getting. Even the 50 crore guy will have the same concerns. How many car parks, how is the maintenance, why is the maintenance so much, for this maintenance what are we getting, and so on. And so it's exactly the same. There is no difference in the customer. Because of the ticket size, there's no difference at all. Human beings are the same, whoever it is.
What's the most amount of time you spend on a client to sell a property to them, and the least amount of time?
Least amount of time, 1 day.
1 day, done.
One day. So, highest 10 years, maybe more.
10 years.
Yeah.
And with the same property, or they keep looking?
Same property. We're working on one single property. The buyer, we went on getting buyers to come and see. Nobody was buying it. Then the bank took over that property because the seller had a bank loan on it, and then it went into Sarfazi Act. The bank took it, went to auction. Then we got our buyer to come and buy it in the auction, and that buyer went bust. He went bankrupt. He paid money in the auction, the first amount, and then he went bankrupt within 10 days. See his luck and see that guy's luck. Then the bank forfeited that guy's money, and this guy got stuck further legally. So it took 10 years, and finally we sold that property. I think from 2011 or 10, I don't. 10 or 11 I was working on the property.
So you sold a property in 1 day. What was the size or the amount?
I think about 3.5 crores.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an apartment. About 3.5 crores. This was a hotel. which
Okay.
with a
10-year
good
one.
tenure.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's
Do you ever feel that because many times you're charging the buyer and the seller, right? What is their way to bypass you? Because a lot of real estate, a lot of people in real estate want to bypass the brokers, and a lot of companies can also just go D2C. They have their fantastic sales teams. So how is that possible?
So it's a very good question that you asked, because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, people bypassing brokers was a very common thing. In those days, things were easier. People trusted more. You could trust people more. Things were not as complicated as things are today, with the number of ways you can cheat somebody.
Yeah.
You take these cyber frauds, for example. It's absolutely crazy. So today, people want a broker. People rather deal with us and pay us that 1% and 2% than go bypassing it and losing more money, because we ensure that the deal will go through smoothly. Nobody loses their money. Like if you give an advance to somebody and there's no broker in the transaction, how will you recover that advance? Who will recover it for you if the deal goes south? Right? If we are there, we will not let him give the advance. We'll say no. We don't think you should give it. Or if you're giving it, we'll say put it in the escrow account. Or we'll say keep it with us. We'll make a mechanism where all parties are safe, which they can't do on their own. And today egos are much bigger than it was 15, 20 years ago. Today everyone is somebody. Everyone knows CM and PM and DGP and so on. And everyone has a connection. MLA, this that. They are. Everyone think they are number one. They think they are the biggest that you can get. So they can't do a deal. They feel small to ask a discount. They feel small to give a discount. So today bypassing a broker, someone other, is just plain stupidity. The deal will not happen. So today we don't have those kind of risks that we had earlier. But at the same time, we protect ourselves. We have a format. We give them we take in writing that we are going to charge you 2% or 1%, and we've shown you this property. We take everything in writing because we don't know who can turn rogue after the transaction. Some people, after the deal is over, can turn around and say, why should we pay you so much? Right? For us, that is the challenge. Bypassing is not the challenge. There are some people who after will say, no, but you didn't get us the right price. Then we can't say why you sold them. We have to still maintain relationship. We can't fight with them. So we take everything in writing. So after these we can get our due fees.
Do you think the broker industry is getting threatened, or maybe like in future, like the whole industry is gonna get threatened?
Not really. See, even no broker is a broker only. They say no broker, but they are a broker as well. On their platform, are they doing it for free? They're charging you a fee, no? So it's just by saying no broker, because people think brokers are a bad word. If you go to a broker, you will be cheated or something like that. So they have played on that sentiment of people, that people are scared of brokers. Now in every field there will be people who will cheat. In every field, there will be people who don't follow the law. Doesn't mean all brokers are bad. So they have played on that one thing, and their business is a brokerage business only, and they're good for them. It was a good idea. They disrupted the industry. They got unicorn status. Good for them, but you can't threaten a broker, because the inventory that brokers have, they may not get. Like nobody will go and list a prime property on nobroker.com. They can only sell what the market has already got. Like what the builders are building, they can sell that. And there are some people who will go and list, who don't have time to call me or call any broker. They'll go list their property there. But a guy selling a 5 crore, 10 crore property, or say 100 acres of land, will you put 100 acres of land on that? He won't. They have to go to a broker only. And they'll go to a broker who they trust. And that broker will take them to whichever developer or buyer. So the industry is not at all threatened. In fact, more people are turning broker, because your investment is only your time and nothing else. Today you can invest money also because there's the new digital marketing.
Yeah.
People are buying. If you go on Instagram, you will see all these ads of apartments and all that. So that's a great way for people to, and it works. It works. So in fact, I would say young people like you all should all take to real estate on a serious note. I don't know whether you also saw Nikhil Kamat's podcast with Irfan Uncle and Nirupa and Karan. I'm sure if you already Nikhil asked if I have 10 crore rupees, what shall I do? He asked them, and they all gave them gave them their opinion. So I do think youngsters like you all should take to real estate. It's a great business, especially in Bangalore, because the kind of population we have in Bangalore, and our people who come here every day, they all need housing, they all need office space, and Bangalore is only bound to grow more.
Which direction do you think Bangalore is going to grow in? Which has the most potential? Like, do you think it's towards the airport only, or like how you said, it's growing in all four directions?
So Bangalore, we are blessed. The city is grown in all four directions, right? North, south, east, and west. It's very rare to go to other cities. It's also grown either in one or two or three directions. So you go north, you go towards Chikbalapur. There's great growth. You go south, you go to Kanakpura. There is growth. You go east. Whitefield has no land left. You can't find land in Whitefield. People have to go to Chikkatirupati and Hoskote and so on, right? So I don't think you can say that specifically there's an area where there'll be more growth, but I do feel that city center is now getting landlocked because you can't manufacture land. You can manufacture everything. You manufacture this phone, tie, watch. You can manufacture anything on earth. Today you can manufacture children also, right? With this IVF technology, right? Human beings you can manufacture. You can't manufacture land. So I think if people can buy in city center, even though rates are exorbitant, you can never ever lose money, and it's all semi-liquid assets. You want to sell a property in city center today, somebody will buy it tomorrow. There's a kind of demand there. But if you're looking at making an investment, you look at little further away, like outskirts, and buy land because appreciation will be more on that because it's still to develop. Like if you see what Whitefield was or what Devanhalli was to today. So if you just go a little further from there and you invest there, it'll be a very wise investment where you'll multifold your investment.
Like how you said right now that even a city center land is quite semi-liquid. Most common people have that notion of land that it's not really that liquid. So what are some myths that you feel that need to be broken for all common people to understand that how land actually works?
So I'll tell you, I'm saying semi-liquid because it's easier to sell than other properties. But property is not a liquid asset.
Yeah.
It will take you 60 to 90 days to sell something from day a buyer wants it. But that's the beauty of it. Today, if somebody falls in trouble, they go and sell their gold and their shares and all in 1 second. When you fall in trouble, you should not be able to take a hasty decision like that. You should be stuck. Because you can't sell that real estate and people will know you're in trouble. They'll offer you lower amounts, so you will not sell. You will fight your way out of trouble. Your property will grow further in value. You should please lock your money. Why do you want to have the liquidity for what?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? But if you do want to have the option that if I want to shift city or shift country and I want to sell, buy an apartment's easier to sell because of security. It's in a complex. Somebody always wants to buy it. And city center, people always demand. People always want to be near MG Road or near UB City or near Bangalore Club. People have got these kind of things in their mind, right? People want to retire at the end, except we're 70 years old. Every day we get calls saying we want to be near Bangalore Club because they're club members and they can go there for a walk and they can spend their time there. And young people want to be either near Indranagar or near UB City. So if you buy properties in these locations, you can sell it very easily. It's not difficult at all. You buy a decent development, legal building, with an OC, compliant, well planned. It's easy to sell.
Is there like a particular land or an area where it's given you a hard time to sell?
So many.
Yeah,
there are many. There are many which are sold easily. There are many that we've not been able to sell, but somebody else has sold it. It's not that because it'll always sell. There's a buyer for everything, right? But every deal we can't do. If we could all do every transaction, we all will be Irfan Uncle or we all will be Mr. Mukesh Ambani or somebody, right? We can't do every transaction that comes our way. But if I'm not able to sell, somebody else has been able to sell it. It's all destiny as well. Real estate is a lot to do with destiny. The stars have to align to be able to own that piece of property that is meant for you.
But you seem to have made a peace with that, right? Because you're getting your piece of the pie. The other brokers are also. One more thing I wanted to know was, how do you find it while working with other brokers?
So
Find it easy?
we're not competition really. See, we're competition in a way, as in, because we're in the same business, but we collaborate with each other on our strengths and weaknesses. Right now, not every broker will have my strength, and I won't have their strength. Now, somebody's strength is maybe land. Somebody's strength maybe is apartments. Somebody's strength is networking with startup founders. Somebody's with family offices. So we have to work all together and use our strengths to collaborate.
Do you feel that there's any lesson that you should give, us youngsters about land? Or is it that whenever we have the right amount of money, just go for it?
There is no right amount of money as such. You can buy land with any amount of money. You can buy a plot in a gated community. There are like small plots of like 1200 square feet, which you'll get for like 30-40 lakh rupees. You can go ahead and buy, as long as it's approved layout, legal. You can please start small, and land is the best investment. It will never let you down, ever. People will let you down, but land will never let you down.
It's like a quote that we have to like.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think this has been a very insightful session.
Thank you for
Got
having
to
me.
know a lot into the broker industry, because we've had like people from real estate, but we've not had any brokers, so we don't know the middleman business. So thank you for coming down.
No, thank you for having me. My pleasure. My pleasure.